Hey, I'm Mike, and this is the weekly recap for the week of August 6th to the 12th. So as I predicted last week, I didn't get to spend a whole lot of time in-game this past week. The majority of my time was probably just spent working on leveling up the final bit of my alts and getting all of them to level 70. So I got my Troll Balanced Druid, my Goblin Outlaw Rogue, my Undead Shadow Priest, my Worgen Balanced Druid, and my Orc Frost Death Knight, all up to level 70. And now all I have left are 3 non-level 70 characters on my account. I never thought I would have this many max level characters, which I know in like a week and a half it won't be max level, but this many characters this close to max level at least, I never thought I'd see the day, and it just is so nice scrolling through my character list and only seeing level 70s. I need to see how many of the memories that I have and just buy whatever I can. I've been trying to focus on the weapon transmogs because a few of them do look pretty cool. I think I have all the ones that I wanted now, and at this point I'm just going to buy any upgrades for some alts that I want to play, or anything that might look cool. Outside of that, I did some time walking on my mage this week, and I really enjoyed playing him. Just undead by themselves are so cool, just the way they look, the way they stand, the way they cast, the way they run. And then mages too are just so cool. I really enjoyed playing him, and for the first time ever, I think, I'm going into a new expansion legitimately wondering if I want to just play another character. At this point, I'm definitely going to level up my warrior to level 80, but usually what would happen is that I would go through this phase where it's like, oh, I want to level all these alts. I'd get level 80 on my warrior and then just stay on him forever. But I've been having so much fun on other characters that I legitimately do want to play them. Like, I really love the mage playstyle, and I just want to play more of that, especially in PvP. Like, I really have this like craving to do some battlegrounds, and I just really want to do it on either a mage or a hunter. And then speaking of hunters, I want to level my hunter as well. Like, I've always loved hunters. When I played Warlords of Draenor, that was my primary ult. I did my whole Warlord of Draenor title farm with that character. So like, I legitimately am wondering, do I just want to play those 2 characters as DPS? Have one be like my undead mage, and then have like probably my dwarf hunter be my alliance character. Then just use my warrior as a tank. Most likely carry around a DPS set, just so that way I can do that on him as well if I wanted to. Plus on top of that, I get to have a melee experience, which, I mean, at this point I've done it for so long, it's not really anything new, but it's nice to have that different playstyle, and then figure out some healers later on down the road. Because yeah, it was just so much fun. I really enjoyed that. So with that mage, I don't know what item level he started at, but he's ending the week at 439.12. I think he started just below 400, like 388 or something like that. So quite a bit of upgrades for him. He did get some pre-patch items as well that I bought for him, but most of it was time walking. At this point, I'm not really interested in playing any like actual retail stuff with those characters though. So I'm probably not going to jump into Mythic Plus or Mythic Dungeons or LFR or anything like that on my mage or my hunter, just because it doesn't really matter anymore. I'm probably just going to do some mount farms on them and focus on that. But right now, if War Within came out today, I would definitely want to level up my warrior and then kind of off level my alts, like my mage and my hunter specifically. Maybe do a couple of quests or like a dungeon or 2 every day, just to kind of just start getting the ball rolling on them. But again, this is something I say every expansion is I want to level all these alts, I want to get all these characters up to level 70 or max level or whatever it is at the time. And I do it once on my warrior, I'm like, wow, that sucked. And getting all this gear for this one guy sucks. I'll have to do it for like 3 other characters? Nah. So we'll see, but I really want to. For mounts this week, just really quick, because I was doing time walking, I of course was primarily doing it to get the Infinite Time Raver, which I'm pretty sure just doesn't exist anymore. Once again, did not get it, so hooray. But at least I did, like I said, get to enjoy playing my mage. I farmed out Dragon Soul so many times this week. I think I did it on 10 different alts, and that was with a limited amount of time to play. Like, if I had more time, I would probably have done it on double that, if not all of my characters, and it is just excruciating. It's got to a point where I'm legitimately upset when I get to the last fight, and when I open up that loot box, I am just so frustrated. Like, oh, of course it didn't drop. Why would it? And so during the year-long RP that happens in that place, I've gone to the Wowhead comments and I've read through every single one on that last mount that I need. I think it's the Lifebinder's Handmaiden or whatever. And I just read all of them just to see what people are saying, what they think, and how sad they are. And also, to be honest, to see whether or not I'm doing something wrong. Like, I'm convinced at this point that I'm doing something wrong, but all the signs point to I'm not. So for the longest time, I've just been doing 25-man heroic, but I'm going to start switching it up. I'm going to start doing 25-man normal. I don't know, maybe that's like a different loot table or something I can kind of focus on in there. That way, I also don't have any of the transmog from normal, at least not much of it, especially anything that is not plate. I have almost nothing there, so I'm going to start doing that just because I can get the mount on normal. It'd be nice to kind of farm out all the transmog there, because I assume by the time I actually get that mount, I'll have everything 16,000 times over, so it'd be nice. So continuing with that this week, hopefully sooner than later. But the one mount that I did get, finally, was the Planeswalker Bear, which is the mount you get from the first Grand Hunt of the week per character. So for the longest time, I was just doing this on my warrior, so just one attempt per week, which was not getting it for me, obviously. I don't remember which day it was, but it was like midway or something through the week where I just got legitimately upset that I didn't have that mount yet. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go do these Grand Hunts on every single character that I can. So I went through not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, I went through 10 characters here too, to finally get that mount. That one, fortunately, is not as bad as Dragon Soul, but it's over. Finally, I'm done with that. Don't have to worry about that anymore. So what I can do now is just permanently park all of my alts outside of Dragon Soul to save myself a trip, and maybe one day get that mount. But with that Grand Hunt mount, that brings me up to 80 out of 86 Dragonflight mounts, so I'm just missing a handful of them now. In other news, this past week, I don't remember what day it was again, but I had a dream that I was playing WoW. I don't remember what I was doing in that, but I woke up just so, I felt so addicted to the game. I needed to play right there and then. It's been a bit since I woke up and felt that just primal need. It was like I was thirsty. I needed to log on. It was so nice. I logged in, just did some world quests, flew around, played some alts, and just did some pre-patch stuff, and it was just so nice. So that was interesting. I wanted to mention that. On the weekend, I finished my second rewatch of Breaking Bad with my partner, who had never seen it before. That show is just so good, and even though I've seen it now 3 times, it continues to be addictive. You are just so excited to see what happens next. Being able to watch it with someone who's never seen it before and seeing their reactions to everything that's happening, it was like watching it for the first time, and it was such a cool experience, and I love that show. But if you haven't seen Breaking Bad, you must, I demand it. And the last thing is that over the weekend, Kaz made some steaks. They were fantastic. Good enough for this video, so I wanted to make sure that they were shouted out here. I bought them. They were nice, fat, and juicy. Kaz grilled them, and we had a great time. For this week upcoming, on Friday, I'm going to be releasing my MoP Remix review video, so come back and check that out. I'm also going to be working on my Dragonflight review video, which I'm planning to post next week. In-game, primarily, I'm going to be doing Dragon Soul. That's going to be where I'm probably spending the most time. On my warrior, I want to go through his quest log and just finish out whatever's there and kind of empty it out. I keep saying this every week, but maybe work on those achievements I've been tracking for the last 3 months. And just in general, enjoy the last week and a half or so we have before the War Within starts up and we start the grind all over again. So that's what happened in my week. Let me know what happened in yours, whether it was in-game or outside of it. What are you up to? What are you enjoying? What's new? What do you want to talk about? If you like this video or any of my others and you haven't yet, I'd appreciate it if you could at least consider subscribing because I'm trying to get to 100K, and I would love you a little bit % harder if you did that. Either way, I do still love you. Have yourselves a great day. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye.